Whether it was due to a temporary lapse in focus, unnecessarily high speed spurred on by the desire to annihilate his competition, or the unknowable forces of fate, Eli Tomac's season-ending crash at round 3 provided an open door for those chasing him in the championship, and a reminder that every passing moment on the racetrack presents a decision that carries a consequence.
Ryan Dungey wins here in Colorado. Ryan Dungey made that one look surprisingly easy.
It appeared that the ever-healthy and consistent veteran Ryan Dungey would easily cruise to his 3rd outdoor championship, until defending champion and rising star Ken Roczen won his first moto of the year at round 4.
It's Ken Roczen leading them out of turn 1. Roczen desperately needed the good start. He got it. Ken Roczen wins the moto here at Muddy Creek.
A rivalry between Dungey and Roczen began during their season-long war for the outdoor title last year, as Ken's talent and speed may be the only force capable of subverting Dungey.
Dungey and Roczen are going to be an even matchup and battling all summer long.
While racing the initial outdoor rounds on the West Coast, Ken Roczen spent much of his time in his Murrieta home, training and spending time with his father, Heiko. It was only in December of 2014 that Ken allowed Heiko back into his life. Like many sons exploring the new freedoms of adulthood, 19-year-old Ken separated from his father, feeling that he no longer needed Heiko's guidance.
Wenn du in Deutschland stehst, du siehst von der Distanz und spürst mit gewissen Aussagen, die dir dein Jungen macht, dass alles nicht 100%ig läuft. Du guckst und du weißt nicht, was los ist. Das ist die Hölle.
I was basically being a prick, turning 18, stuff like that. If I look back right now, I would slap myself probably if I would act like that again. I am where I am because of him and because he did things the way he did with me. That's why I have him back here. I need him.
Ich weiß am besten, wie das geht. Da ist jüngster Weltmeister geworden. Nicht für umsonst, weil ich ihm den Weg geebnet habe. Und ich sehe an den Ausdruck von meinem Jungen, ob der stark ist oder ob der schwach ist. Und ich weiß, wie hart er arbeiten muss, wie hart er nicht arbeiten muss. Und das weiß kein anderer.
Since his reintroduction into Ken's life, Heiko has taken over the responsibility of being his riding coach and seems to have played a major role in Roczen's separation from Alden Baker's training program.
I would never try and take the place of a dad. I've always been pro-parents. But it is tough because Dad had a different idea. The dad felt he needed to be less on the bicycle. Then, yes, you don't need me. My program's not for you. You go and do it your way.
The person that has always been that rock and definitely knows how to push my button is my dad. I don't see me and my dad splitting up again.
The crowded freeways, desert landscape, and vast suburbs of Southern California present a stark contrast to Roczen and Ryan Dungey's permanent homes in rural Central Florida. In order to make the experience of racing in California more enjoyable, Ryan rented a small one-bedroom apartment in Corona del Mar for himself, his wife, and Alden Baker, who is now Dungey's full-time trainer.
Where does Alden sleep?
Right here.
His bed's right there.
Right there. Here's Alden's bed.
One bathroom, right?
There's 2.
It's too bad.
But it doesn't matter because the whole place smells like farts 90% of the time.
So what's this this nickname all about?
Diesel?
Do you even like it?
The Diesel? I don't like it. You know, when I think of Diesel, I think of slow, and I don't personally like the Diesel.
What's a better nickname for Ryan?
Well, I saw a street sign out here, and it was fitting. It was Golden Rod. I thought that was. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Southern California has been the American home of motocross since the birth of the sport in the 1970s. But in recent years, nearly all the top pros have been leaving California.
The difference between California and Florida, in California, it's a public track you're gonna go and ride on. So just the danger of these guys at the speed that they ride, being on a track where you've got a person that can rent a motorcycle and off they go, is, to me, ridiculous.
I really think going to some other tracks, it's gonna feel better.
Yeah.
I remember this track really brings out the worst of everything.
California's crowds and poor track conditions have created an exodus to the humid air and loamy soil in Florida.
You can get a track prepped better. You can change things around if you need it. Where at a public track in California, they just can't do that. They've got to cater to the masses. There's water restrictions this year in California. I don't know if that's going to get any better. That has an effect on the riding conditions.
Considering the amount of rain that we had yesterday, I mean, the track is phenomenal.
Few people believe in the benefits of training in Florida more than Alden Baker. He has won dozens of championships working with riders in the Sunshine State, and over the last year has invested millions in establishing his own facility called Baker's Factory.
My goal here is to elevate that riding experience, to make the riding count, to get the quality out of the training so that going to the races is a little bit easier. They're more on their game. They're more in tune with the bike, and the setup is very close to what they will have, and it'll work at the races.
Better? I know you got a 58 in you though. Track's like crap.
The feedback that I've already had on what we're doing and what we're providing for testing and suspension, I think we're well on our way. In this last couple of weeks, I've had actually 2 of the teams send their suspension guys out here, and I think there's been big benefits that they didn't have in California.
Yeah, boys!
Not far from Baker's Factory in Claremont, Florida, Roczen began training at a private track known as The Nest, and hired trainer Clint Friesen to supplement the guidance he receives from his father.
It's been difficult this first few months of us training together because we're trying to pick up the pieces that were broken from, the previous couple years.
Come on, 4 more, go hard!
I'm here because Ken wanted to go a different direction. He wanted to be the one to separate himself from the rest of the pack. And I think right now, the rest of the pack is just kind of doing the same things.
While training in Florida seems ideal for riders, it creates a 3,000-mile logistical problem for the race teams based in California. Ken experienced the consequences of this firsthand. After failing to find a suspension setting he liked while testing in California, he spent much of his initial time in Florida, frustrated because he could no longer change his front end forks, with his team on the other side of the country.
The bike's not working right, but at least physically you're getting fit.
I can deal with it if it's a little bit off sometimes, but if somebody just puts like a steel rod in the front, just no suspension, then when you hit a bump, that's how it feels like. I've been in California for I don't know how many months, and we've gotten in testing, and it just didn't seem like it's the right place because we go to the weekend and there's rods. It just gets gnarly, and I think the only place that comes somewhat close to it is here.
The times as the week went on, it was like 2:17 was fastest when the track was good, so this is slower.
In his preparation leading up to round 5 at High Point Raceway, Ken's practice lap times began to rise to 2 minutes and 27 seconds, a full 7 seconds slower than the standard that Heiko and Clint have come to expect of him.
27? What? He's not even trying now. To me, this is mental weakness.
Ja, wir sind selbstkritisch mit dem Sport umgegangen. Sehr gut gibt's nur ganz selten. Der größte Erfolg war, ich habe immer gesagt, Rennen werden in der Woche gewonnen und nicht am Wochenende.
While Roczen blamed his bike settings for his performance, Clint believed the problem was Ken's attitude.
In a 12-race outdoor series, there's going to be some races where things aren't perfect. You're forced to rise above it. You can't just pull off. That's not what a champion does. I was frustrated. And I was frustrated because when a rider pulls up like that, it's training a bad habit. It's training a weakness. That's not the way you win championships. That's not the way you become a great athlete.
The top riders around the world have all converged right here with Dungey and Roczen.
What did I say to Ken? I said, don't be a pussy, is what I said. Ooh, wow, my bike wasn't working great. My lap times were slow. I don't care. Your competition doesn't care at the race. They're just going to stomp your ass.
And into turn number 1 they go. Here comes Ken Roczen, the German rider, into the number 1 position.
Next time on MX Nation, conflicts in racing family dynamics seem universal and ongoing. Dungey has only recently found complete peace in his life. while tensions begin to arise afresh between Roczen and his father. Both riders experience trials on the racetrack through the middle portion of the season, as a new face inserts himself into the battle at the front of the pack.